Hello everybody! Today we are going to shift to revisiting our subtraction strategies. So we spent a couple of days reviewing our strategies for solving complicated and complex addition problems, and you've created your own or used a template, and you've posted your best work on your web page for addition, and now we're going to shift to subtraction. So one of the things I want you to be mindful of as you choose your subtraction problem, I want you to think about how you make it more challenging. So I'm going to show you a couple of subtraction problems and talk to you about why one is less challenging than another. So if I have something like 386 minus 154 compared to 623 minus 187, I want to talk about why the second problem is more challenging. Take a look at your first problem. See how we have 300 minus 100 in our place value? And then we have 80 minus 50. And then we have 6 minus 4. All of those problems can be done without doing any regrouping, right? You have enough hundreds to take away one of the hundreds, you have enough tens to take away the 5 tens, and you have enough ones to take away the 4 ones in the original problem. Now take a look at your second problem. You've got that for the hundreds. You can do 600 minus 100, but look at your tens and your ones. I only have 2 tens in the first problem, and I have to take away 8 tens, which means I'm going to have to do some regrouping. I'm going to have to take from the hundreds. And it's the same with the ones. I have 3 ones trying to take away 7 ones, and that's not enough. That means that this problem here is a bit more challenging. It's a bit more complex. It requires you to do some additional steps. And those are the types of problems I want you to be creating today. So I don't really want to see these types of problems. I want you to push yourself and figure out a way to make a problem where you have to do some regrouping. So with that, we are going to solve the problem on the right in multiple ways. So I'm going to just get rid of my highlighting if I can. That was an 8 and a 1. It was 623. I'm just going to rewrite it. You know what? 623 minus 187. 623 minus 187. So lots of ways to go about solving this, again, just like your addition. So first of all, you can use your place value chart if that's what you need to do, though this is not the most efficient strategy, and I would hope that you have the opportunity to move on from this. But what we'll do is we start by showing 623. And now we go ahead and start subtracting, okay? So I can subtract the 100, right? So I'll cross off 100, easy peasy. I'm able to subtract 100. Now I have to subtract 80, but I don't have enough tens. So I'm going to take from 100. I'm going to show that I get 10 tens for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I can take away 8 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See how this gets a little wonky and messy? Not the most efficient strategy, but it works. Now I'm going to take away 7 ones, but I don't have enough of those either. So I'm going to cross off this 10 and turn it into 10 ones. And now I can take away my 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now I've got my answer. So I'm going to look at my hundreds. I have 4 hundreds left. I have 3 tens left. But look at how this one kind of gets lost in the shuffle. That's why this strategy isn't so great when we get into multi-digit numbers. It gets really complex and gets confusing and messy. And now I look at my ones, and I have 6 ones left. So my answer should be 436. So this is certainly a strategy that you can use. It is certainly a strategy that works, okay? But think about whether you are comfortable using a different, more efficient strategy. So let's talk about how we can use our equations to do subtraction. Now, a lot of you have been trying this on your window panes, and some of you are forgetting my hint to keep this number whole. It makes things a lot easier. So I'm going to keep 623 whole, But I'm going to break down 187 and take away parts of that one at a time. So I'm going to take away 100 first, and I'll get 523. Now I'm at 523, and I'm going to take away 80. Okay, so I can take away 80. All right, I know, well, let's see, that's confusing for me. So I'm going to actually take away 20 first, because I know that will get me to 503. Now I know I still have to take away 60, and I think that's a little bit easier for me. So if I take 60 away from that 100, I'm going to have 4 hundreds left, 43. And now I can take away 7, and I feel comfortable just going ahead and doing that. So 43 minus 7 is going to be 36, so I know I would have 436 left. And that is the same answer that I got when I used my place value chart. So that's another strategy that you could use is equations. Now there's lots of different parts and ways that you could break it up. So it doesn't have to be done exactly like mine, but the idea of using a series of equations to solve your problem. Now, if you're a 4th grader, you learned the traditional algorithm this year. You could also use the traditional algorithm to solve. Make sure that if you do so, you show that you need to regroup. So again, starting at your 1s, 3 minus 7, I don't have enough. I have to take from the 10s. You must show this. And then I get a 10 from that, so it turns into 13. Now I can do 13 minus 7, which is 6. 1 minus 8, I can't do that. I have to take from the hundreds. I get 10 tens for that. So now I have 11 minus 8, which is 3. And 5 minus 1, which is 4. And again, I get the same answer. And I forgot earlier this week to talk about with the addition that we also can solve with number lines, right? So if you're comfortable with a number line, maybe that's the model that you'd like to show. So you could always set up a number line, and you can solve in a couple of different ways. You can do 623, start over here, and you can count back. So I can say, okay, well, I'll take away 100. That gives me 523. I'm going to take away 80. Whoops. That will get me to 443. And then I can take away a 7. Whoops. And that will get me to 436. So that's one way. Or you can use it to count up. So you can start with your smaller number of 187 and see how much it takes you to get to 623. So I can start at 187 and keep in mind that I'm trying to make it to 623 over here. So I would add, let's see, I want to add 3 because that gets me to a nice 190. That's nice and easy. Now I'm going to add a 10. That's going to get me to 200. And now I know I can just add 423 because I know that's what needs to be added to 200 to get to 623. My answer will then be across the top. So I'd have to do 423 plus 10 plus 3, and that gives me 436, which is still the same answer that I got all the way across the board. Okay? Lots and lots of different strategies for solving a subtraction problem. So you're going to go ahead and practice some of those strategies. You can mix it up. You can do one strategy for one and a different strategy for another. It's totally up to you. Okay? Then you're going to create 2 of your own problems. Remember, make them challenging. And then you will solve one word problem where you get to complete, fill in the blanks and then solve. So good luck. Have fun. Let me know if you need any